Fellow Kenyans, President Ruto's unconstitutional appointments is why we are here. History doesn't know any president who has made so many gazette notices in a year than President William Ruto. Since his election, the Kenya Gazette has been too busy with appointments and disappointments, while the Kenyans whom he made promises to are still waiting. When he says he has a plan, but actually he has no strategy to achieve his plans. As leaders of Operation in Jamii, we challenge the president's unconstitutional exercise of state authority in the creation of appointments of the appointment of Musalia Mudavadi as the Prime Secretary, whose function, as spelled out in the Executive Order Number 1, 2023, alters the basic structure of the Constitution contrary to law. We further challenge the President's cabinet-level appointments of Harriet Chigai as Cabinet Secretary, President's Women's Rights Advisor, and Monica Kathima Juma as Cabinet Secretary, President's National Security Advisor. These positions are not contemplated in the Constitution, therefore are unlawful, illegal, and unconstitutional. We in fact challenge the entire constitution of the Compositional Cabinet of Republic of Kenya for failing to comply with the constitutional dictates on gender balance, inclusion of persons with disability, and the youth. This was done on the 26th day of September 2022, when His Excellency the President made a Gazette notice, which was published in Kenya Gazette Notice until date. The cabinet was presently constituted, fails to comply with the constitutional gender principle that not more than 2/3 of the elective and appointive bodies should comprise of the same gender. We plead with the Honorable Court that cabinet secretaries, as presently constituted, does not compromise of the 5% of persons living with disability, thus violating the Constitution and principle of affirmative action as entrenched in the Constitution of Kenya 2010. The creation of the office of the Prime Secretary to assist the President and the Deputy President in the day-to-day running of the government is akin to creating a second office of Deputy President, who by law is only the principal assistant to the President, who is Rigathi Gachagua. Consequently, we believe that the creation of the office of Prime Secretary is unconstitutional, it is illegal, is unlawful, since the creation of the said office is tantamount to amending or altering the basic structure of the executive arm of government by creating two principal assistants to the President in the violation of Article 147(1) of the Constitution. Additionally, whereas Article 153, Section 2 of the Constitution is instructive that cabinet secretaries are individually and collectively accountable to the President for their actions or omissions, the Executive Order Number 1, 2023, dated 6 January 2023, only elevates the bearer of the office of the Prime Secretary as assistant to the President with no accountability reference as is required by law, thus making the office violating the Constitution, Article 153, Section 2 of the Constitution. The fact that, despite the structure of the national government being prescribed by Chapter 9 of the Constitution, the President, in utter unconstitutional exercise of state authority, created two new positions occupied by Harriet Chigai as Cabinet Secretary, President's Women's Rights Advisor, and Monica Kathima Juma as Secretary, President's National Security Advisor, herein in government devoid of public participation and public service commission. The three unconstitutional offices draw their remuneration benefits from the national exchequer or public coffers in their respective positions of cabinet level appointments. The total cost of running these unconstitutional offices, if not stopped by the courts, will have serious cost implication to taxpayers' money amounting to 3.9 billion shillings in a year in the 5 years of President Ruto's presidency. And if he continues with them and wins a second term, taxpayers could have lost unconstitutionally 9 billion shillings. As Operation Jamii, we remain Solomonic to fight for Kenyans, irrespective of social status, tribe, political or economic status. For as always, we are the voice of reason and remain Solomonic in our views, even if the opposition and the government is still on election and now back to campaign mode. Do not be afraid, Kenyans. We shall keep them in check, for it's now official that Kenyans have to come to fight for Kenyans. As constitutions continue to fail us, may the High Court be the last man standing. God bless you and God bless Kenya.